Willard Van Orman Quine, an American philosopher of the 20th century, is best known for his radical contributions to the philosophy of language, logic, and epistemology. A pivotal figure in the philosophical landscape, Quine's work challenged deeply entrenched views and introduced new ways of thinking about the world. His ideas have influenced not only philosophy but also broader intellectual currents, leaving a profound mark on fields like cognitive science, linguistics, and artificial intelligence. Though Quine did not focus on offering life lessons, his philosophical insights are rich with practical advice that can shape how we live, think, and engage with the world around us. In this video, we will explore several life lessons inspired by Quine's philosophy, focusing on the nature of knowledge, the role of language, the complexity of human understanding, and how we navigate uncertainty. Through Quine's work, we gain a deeper appreciation for intellectual humility, the interconnectedness of beliefs, and the ever-evolving nature of knowledge. These lessons can guide us in our personal development, decision-making, and pursuit of truth in an increasingly complex world. The challenge of assumptions and the fluidity of knowledge. Quine's most famous philosophical contribution is his critique of the analytic-synthetic distinction. This distinction traditionally held that some statements, like, all bachelors are unmarried, are true by definition, analytic, while others, like, the cat is on the mat, are true based on empirical observation, synthetic. Quine, however, argued that no statement is purely analytic or synthetic. Instead, all knowledge is interconnected, and even seemingly self-evident truths are shaped by our experiences and the language we use. In his essay Two Dogmas of Empiricism, Quine attacked the rigid boundaries between analytic and synthetic statements, demonstrating that our understanding of the world is more fluid and contingent than we tend to believe. This critique offers a profound life lesson: question your assumptions. Often, we accept certain truths as self-evident, without realizing that they are shaped by cultural, social, and linguistic factors. Quine's challenge encourages us to remain open-minded and intellectually humble, recognizing that our understanding is always contingent on context and subject to revision. In life, this translates to being willing to challenge long-held beliefs and assumptions, especially when new information arises. For instance, in personal relationships, we often make assumptions about others based on past experiences or stereotypes. Quine's philosophy suggests that these assumptions are not fixed, they should be questioned and examined in light of new interactions and understandings. By doing so, we foster more meaningful and flexible connections with others. Embracing uncertainty, a Quinean approach to life. Quine's philosophy is often described as holistic because he argued that our beliefs form an interconnected web, where no belief is entirely independent. In Quine's view, knowledge is never absolute, it is always subject to revision as new experiences and evidence emerge. This idea is reflected in his concept of ontological relativity, which suggests that the way we categorize the world is shaped by the language and frameworks we use, which in turn can change over time. The lesson here is embracing uncertainty. Life is inherently uncertain, and trying to cling to absolute truths or predictions can lead to frustration and stagnation. Quine's philosophy teaches us that uncertainty is a natural part of the human condition. We should accept it, rather than seek to eliminate it, and use it as an opportunity for growth and exploration. In practical terms, embracing uncertainty means being open to change, whether in our personal lives, careers, or perspectives on the world. When we let go of the need for absolute certainty, we become more adaptable and resilient in the face of challenges. For example, in professional life, rather than fixating on a single career path, we might embrace the possibility of change and be open to learning new skills, shifting roles, or pursuing unexpected opportunities. Language and reality. The Power of Words. Quine famously explored the relationship between language and reality. He argued that language is not just a tool for expressing pre-existing thoughts, but that it plays a fundamental role in shaping how we perceive and understand the world. In Quine's view, our entire system of knowledge is mediated by language, and without it, we would be unable to organize or interpret our experiences. This leads to an important life lesson: the power of language shapes our reality. How we speak to ourselves and others affects how we understand the world. For instance, when we frame challenges as problems, we may feel overwhelmed, but when we frame them as opportunities, we are more likely to approach them with curiosity and resourcefulness. In relationships, the way we communicate, both in words and in nonverbal cues, can influence how we connect with others, for better or worse. Quine's insight into language also teaches us to be more mindful in our communication. The words we choose to describe ourselves, others, and the world around us have a profound impact on our thoughts and actions. By becoming more intentional with our language, we can shape our experiences and interactions in ways that foster greater understanding, connection, and personal growth. The web of belief: how our knowledge interconnects. One of Quine's most influential ideas is the web of belief, which suggests that our system of knowledge is a network of interconnected beliefs. Every belief we hold is linked to others, and a change in one belief can have a ripple effect throughout the entire web. Quine's idea emphasizes the interconnectedness of knowledge, showing that our worldview is not built on isolated facts but on a complex structure of interrelated concepts. This insight offers the life lesson of holistic thinking. Just as our beliefs are interwoven, our lives are interconnected. Every action, decision, and relationship is part of a larger whole. By considering how our choices affect the bigger picture, we can make more informed and thoughtful decisions. For instance, in personal growth, focusing on the interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit can lead to a more balanced and fulfilling life. The web of belief also encourages us to reflect on our values and how they influence our actions. By understanding the interconnected nature of our beliefs, we can better align our actions with our deepest values, leading to a life that feels more coherent and authentic. The limits of knowledge: accepting our fallibility. Quine was deeply skeptical about the possibility of absolute certainty. He believed that knowledge is always tentative and subject to change. This view challenges the notion of infallibility and highlights the importance of intellectual humility. A key life lesson here is accepting our fallibility. In both our personal and professional lives, we often strive for perfection or certainty, but Quine's philosophy reminds us that human knowledge is always evolving. The most successful and fulfilled individuals are those who accept that they don't have all the answers and are open to learning from mistakes and new experiences. Rather than fearing failure or uncertainty, we should embrace it as part of the journey of growth. This mindset allows us to approach challenges with resilience and flexibility, knowing that the path forward is rarely straightforward or predictable. Adaptability and change: learning from Quine's empiricism. Quine's philosophy is deeply rooted in empiricism, the idea that knowledge comes primarily from sensory experience and observation. For Quine, knowledge is not static, it is constantly evolving based on new empirical evidence. This view highlights the importance of being open to change and adapting our beliefs when presented with new information. The lesson here is adaptability and the acceptance of change. In life, as in philosophy, change is inevitable. New experiences, perspectives, and information are constantly shaping our understanding of the world. Quine's empiricism teaches us to remain flexible, to let go of outdated beliefs when new evidence suggests a different perspective, and to stay open to continuous learning. Practically speaking, this means being willing to reevaluate decisions and opinions based on new experiences. Whether in personal relationships, career choices, or societal issues, adaptability is essential. For instance, in the workplace, an employee who remains open to new skills and technologies is more likely to succeed in a rapidly changing environment. Similarly, in personal development, embracing change and learning from it fosters growth and resilience. Coherence over certainty, a new way of thinking. Quine's critique of the analytic-synthetic distinction and his holistic view of knowledge suggest that, rather than seeking rigid certainty, we should aim for coherence. For Quine, truth is not about reaching definitive conclusions but about how well our beliefs and experiences fit together. In other words, it is the coherence of our entire belief system that matters, not individual pieces of knowledge that may or may not be absolutely true. This philosophical stance offers a key life lesson: prioritize coherence over certainty. While it's natural to seek certainty in life, the pursuit of perfect answers often leads to frustration and rigidity. Instead, focusing on how different aspects of our lives fit together in a coherent way allows for greater intellectual freedom and personal growth. For example, in decision-making, rather than fixating on finding the right answer, consider how various options align with your broader goals, values, and context. Life is rarely about finding a singular, correct answer, but about weaving a tapestry of choices that make sense together. This approach also encourages a more open and flexible mindset, where the goal is not to be right, but to create a life that is consistent and authentic. Resisting dogmatism, the need for openness in thinking. Quine's rejection of rigid dogmatic beliefs is a cornerstone of his philosophy. He critiqued the idea that there are ultimate, unchangeable truths that stand independently of experience. Instead, he emphasized that our understanding of the world is shaped by a dynamic process of questioning, revising, and integrating new information. This openness to change is in direct opposition to dogmatism, the tendency to cling to fixed ideas despite contradictory evidence. The life lesson here is resisting dogmatism and remaining open to new ideas. Dogmatism stifles intellectual growth and personal development because it discourages questioning and critical thinking. Quine's philosophy urges us to be open to revising our views, even those that we may have held for a long time. In practice, this means being willing to challenge our beliefs and remain receptive to alternative perspectives. In personal and professional life, being open to different viewpoints allows us to learn from others and evolve our own thinking. In relationships, openness fosters mutual understanding and growth, as we acknowledge that no one person has a monopoly on the truth. For instance, in discussions about politics, philosophy, or religion, instead of holding steadfastly to one's position, we can learn to listen to opposing arguments and consider their validity. The ability to revise one's views based on new evidence or perspectives is a sign of intellectual maturity and emotional intelligence. Pragmatism and practical solutions, a Quinean approach to problem solving. Quine's philosophical stance was heavily influenced by pragmatism, the idea that the truth of an idea or belief is determined by its practical consequences and usefulness in everyday life. According to Quine, rather than seeking abstract or theoretical solutions to problems, we should focus on what works in practice. This pragmatic approach stresses the importance of evaluating ideas based on their real-world applicability. The life lesson here is embracing a pragmatic approach to problem solving. Rather than becoming bogged down by abstract theories or unattainable ideals, focus on what works in the real world. In both personal and professional life, pragmatic solutions are often the most effective and actionable. For example, when facing challenges, instead of getting caught up in theoretical debates or worrying about finding the perfect solution, it's more productive to focus on practical steps that can lead to positive outcomes. In the workplace, this means solving problems based on what can be implemented now, rather than getting stuck in analysis paralysis. In personal growth, a pragmatic approach encourages taking small, actionable steps toward improvement, rather than waiting for a perfect moment or a perfect plan. Pragmatism also teaches us to be results-oriented. When working on a project, it's not enough to have great ideas, we need to test those ideas in the real world to see if they work. This can be applied in a variety of contexts, from business ventures to personal development, where action and results matter more than theoretical knowledge. Conclusion. Willard Van Orman Quine's philosophy offers a wealth of valuable life lessons, even though his work primarily addresses abstract issues in the philosophy of language and epistemology. His ideas on knowledge, language, uncertainty, and pragmatism encourage us to approach life with intellectual humility, openness, and adaptability. Through Quine's lens, we learn the importance of questioning assumptions, embracing uncertainty, valuing coherence, and resisting dogmatism. Quine's emphasis on the interconnectedness of beliefs and the provisional nature of knowledge teaches us to approach life with a mindset of continuous learning and evolution. By accepting the fluidity of knowledge, we can develop a more flexible, resilient, and meaningful approach to life's challenges. Ultimately, Quine's life lessons suggest that the pursuit of certainty is less important than the pursuit of understanding, coherence, and practical solutions. Whether we are facing personal, professional, or philosophical challenges, Quine's insights can guide us in creating a life that is thoughtful, adaptable, and deeply engaged with the ever-changing world around us. By incorporating Quine's lessons into our daily lives, we not only improve our intellectual lives but also cultivate a deeper, more grounded existence that embraces the complexities and uncertainties of the human experience.